And I was about to spar, before I was about to spar Tank, he was sparring this big boy.
A heavyweight.
Heavyweight boy. And Tank hit that nigga, he hit him so hard that he was on the top of the ropes just like this.
Oh!
To speed Gervonta Tank Davis, if he put on the right weight, on, and, have the lean muscle right.
In jaw-dropping unseen footage, Gervonta Tank Davis reportedly drops a heavyweight sparring partner while gearing up for his showdown with Jake Paul. The clip captures Tank's trademark speed and devastating left hand, ending the session in seconds. Fans are calling it proof his timing and precision remain untouchable, even against men far bigger than him. Showbiz the Adult predicts Tank will weigh around 154 pounds for the fight, dismissing doubts that he'll be undersized. He reminds everyone that Davis has trained at 160 before, so this isn't new territory. Years of sparring with heavier fighters have sharpened his reflexes and counterpunching to perfection. Confident in his analysis, Showbiz boldly claims Jake Paul's size won't save him, and Tank will knock him out with ease. Reports say Tank has been sparring with larger opponents to prepare for the Jake Paul fight, but that's nothing new. From early in his career, Davis tested himself against heavier fighters, using those sessions to refine his speed, accuracy, and timing. His fight IQ and explosive power make him dangerous no matter who's across the ring. For Tank, handling bigger men has never been a problem. It's part of what built his legend.
150s, dare I say, close to 160 against Jake Paul. And dare I say it, I think that's the right thing for him to do. Why? I've been saying this. Number one, fighters need to start fighting closer to their walk-around weight. They're just healthier that way. They're just better and healthier that way. I mean, I know it's probably surprising them too. Like, that was the best I've seen Terrence Bud Crawford. Lamont Roach, he's fighting Pitbull at 140, coming from 130 and a pit stop at 135. You have Shakur Stevenson talking about fighting Teofimo Lopez. They're very close to making that fight at 140. And I think all of them would look their best there, especially Roach, where he ain't knocking nobody out down there at 130. But I bet you he'll be swatting far more at 140. Gervonta Tank Davis, I think, just like the others, fighting closer to your walk-around weight is just going to be one of the better performances for Gervonta Tank Davis. He's going to learn a lot about his body. He's going to learn a lot about himself and where he should campaign moving forward. Maybe even meeting Roach in that rematch at 140 himself. Also, another reason why I think it behooves him to come in knocking at 160 pounds is because of Jake Paul. It's not like Tank is going to dodge every punch Jake Paul throws, all right? Some of those going to land, and more than likely it's going to land on his guard. Tank is going to have this guard up. We need for him to be solid enough, his foundation and his base solid enough, so when Jake Paul hits him with those shots, he doesn't go flying around the ring.
Recent training footage shows a focused and fierce Gervonta Davis. Every punch he throws is fast, precise, and full of purpose. His footwork looks light but commanding, and his eyes tell a story of pure determination. Observers say this version of Tank looks better than he has in years, sharper, stronger, and fully locked in. The weight difference between him and Jake Paul is a hot topic, but fans who know Tank's history aren't worried. They've seen him dominate bigger opponents before. As many point out, boxing isn't just about weight. It's about skill, timing, and control. With his defense and counterpunching, Tank remains a nightmare matchup for anyone, regardless of size. For him, this fight isn't about power. It's about proving mastery.
That's real shit.
Lamont Roach recently reignited tension by calling out Tank Davis, hinting at unfinished business between them. His comments sparked debate, with analysts sensing jealousy more than real conflict. Many believe Roach's frustration comes from seeing Tank continue to headline massive events and pull in huge paydays. Once there was mutual respect, now Roach's tone feels personal. As some in the boxing world put it, fame and fortune often turn rivalry into resentment. But Tank doesn't respond with words. He lets his work in the gym speak louder than anything. Boxing insiders often argue that Gervonta Davis doesn't get the credit he deserves. Time and again, fighters who face him rise in recognition, proving how much influence he carries in the sport. Just stepping into the ring with Tank can change a career overnight. Critics who question his competition forget how his presence alone draws global attention. To many, his dominance isn't just about knockouts, it's about star power, impact, and the pressure that comes with being the face of modern boxing.
It is happening. WBA lightweight champion Gervonta Davis, who's unbeaten in 31 professional contests, takes on the self-proclaimed problem child, Jake Paul, one of the most influential and marketable global personalities. Paul and Davis square off in Miami after doubts around the fight being sanctioned in Georgia triggered a change in venue. Neither fighter can weigh more than 195 pounds. The weight is perhaps the most surprising factor. Paul has boxed most of his career around 200 pounds, the cruiserweight limit, but did tip the scales at 227 pounds when he faced off against Iron Mike Tyson last year. Davis, much smaller in stature, competes at the 135 pound mark and has also won world honours at super featherweight.
And despite some discussions about possibly dropping down to 10 ounces, the pair seem set to wear 12-ounce gloves.
And in terms of distance, despite the exhibition tag, the fight will play out over 10 3-minute rounds with 3 scoring judges at ringside, but the result will not be officially recorded on their professional record.
The question is direct. Reportedly, Tank's going to make $40 million around there to fight Jake Paul. Would you do the same thing if you were in this situation? And he's like, actually, this is what I explained before. You're beating around the bush. It's really a yes or no. I would do it. I would take the 40 mil, or I wouldn't take the 40 mil. But let's listen to this long, drawn-out explanation.
There's about $40 million that he's going to get paid. If you were in his shoes, wouldn't you do the same thing?
See, now, this is something that I explain and express, and I hope everybody gets. That opportunity is an opportunity that you probably cannot pass up. But it's about how you handle it. It's about how you go about it. A lot of people don't know that he actually exercised his rights to the rematch, so that contractually binds us to a fight. You cannot breach that unless you do what you have to do to handle the business, to be like, okay, well, we mutually agree to let you move on and or swindle around and fight Jake Paul for this money. If you think I'm going to sit back by the wayside and sit there and be like, well, even though I'm contracted to fight this guy for this amount of money on this certain day, I'm just going to sit here and be cool with, oh, he might not ever fight me, and he's going to go fight and get paid and get this money, and I'm not supposed to get anything.
Ongoing discussion in the boxing world about Gervonta Davis and Gervonta Davis, his resume, who he's going to fight, the competitors that he's going to fight. And every once in a while, something happens that proves that Gervonta Davis is the face of that. If he's not the face of boxing because people just don't want him to be that, man, he is real close to it, because other than Canelo Alvarez, and even consider Canelo Alvarez included, nobody in boxing has divisions circulating around him like Gervonta Davis does. And that was proved during this Lamont Roach versus Pitbull Cruz announcement for their pay-per-view. Just think about this. Gervonta Davis, they always say that Gervonta Davis has a poor resume, but yet Gervonta Davis, guys that fight Gervonta Davis, lose to Gervonta Davis, or get a draw to Gervonta Davis, can fight one another and make an anticipated pay-per-view between the two of them. Because that fight with Pitbull Cruz is a very, very popular fighter with Mexican fight fans. Lamont Roach got a lot of name exposure with black fight fans and Mexican fight fans and white fight fans, all with his draw that he got against Gervonta Davis. Now they believe that this is going to be able to be a profitable endeavor for a pay-per-view. Now, let me also tell you that Rolly Romero, who was somebody else that Gervonta Davis fought in the past, will be on a pay-per-view that's going to be successful, most likely.